Hey guys, Marsing here bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so we have the EZA for Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta from the 6th anniversary. We're going to be testing him out here, showcasing him on a 200% team, full level 10 links. This guy is like the definition of what an EZA should be, right? Because even like not long after the 6th anniversary had finished, people were already saying that this guy wasn't great, like didn't age well. Very disappointing anniversary headliner in comparison to AGL-UI Goku. Obviously a character with a really high dodge chance can stay relevant for a long time, bearing in mind that you actually get the RNG and they get the dodges. But Vegeta was just very underwhelming, and now with his EZA, he is very, very good and arguably is now better than Goku. So we are going to check him out here. His leader skill, of course, is Powerful Comeback or Reps of Universe 7 for 3 key and 180. So better than a 170 lead, obviously not as good as a 200, but pretty good leads. Obviously Reps of Universe 7 has gotten a bunch of buffs recently, but he's on a few 200% teams. We're actually going to use him on the Tech Vegeta team. I've really been looking forward to being able to add him into this team so we can see what he does. So his super attacks, the 12 key greatly raises defense for 1 turn, colossal damage, high chance to crit, raises allies' chance of performing a crit by 7% for 1 turn, and then his 18 key super greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn, mega colossal damage to the enemy, high chance to crit, and then raise allies' crit chance by 7% for 2 turns. That's really good. Obviously if he gets an additional, it means the characters on that turn, especially if he's in slot 1, have a 14% chance to crit. If he gets another one, it means he's giving the allies 21% as like a separate bonus like crit chance, which is pretty good. And then when we take a look at his passive, so attack and defense 200%, key 7, guards all attacks for 1 turn, so he guards on the first turn, launches an additional attack that has a 77% chance to become a super. He has 50% damage reduction, and then every hit he takes for the first 3 gives him an extra 10% within that turn. So you can go up to having 80% in the turn, and then it resets and will be at 50 at the start of the next turn. That is very good. The resetting within the turn thing was probably one of his biggest issues when he first came out, but now he has that base like always having 50%. So it's still going to be annoying if the first attack of the turn he takes as a super, but his defense is still going to get up to being pretty good, especially post super attack. It's also 10% up to 30 with each attack received or evaded, so even if he dodges, you get that buff, which is good. Key +3 up to +10, and an additional attack and defense 30% up to 120 with each attack performed. So once he's performed 4 attacks, that's fully built up. Same for the key, because after 3 attacks it'll be on 9, and then he gets 1 extra. So that's good. He gets a guaranteed crit when performing the active skill, as well as an additional 77% attack, or whenever key is 24. Revives with 77% HP recovered when the character or ally in the turn is KO'd, starting from the next attacking turn after he receives 5 or more attacks. And then he gets an additional 7 key and 77% attack and defense, starting from the turn in which anyone has revived, so that's really good. And then he guards on his next turn if he was the one that revived. So if somebody else revives, he still gets that buff. If he's the one that revives, he gets guard on that next turn. But the 7 key and 77% attack is a permanent buff after getting the revival as well. So he does a lot. He's also got the active skill. HP is 50% or more starting from the 4th turn, so it should be pretty easy to get. But let's go ahead and jump straight in. We've got a Vegeta in slot 7, so we need to float off this first one. He does share 4 links with Broly, which is good. Prodigies, Prepared for Battle, Fist Battle, Legendary Power. So we have 275k defense start of turn. We have got type advantage here, but of course we do guard on the first turn as well anyway. So we can go ahead and do this, and then we can do this. So we shouldn't really take a lot of damage straight off the bat here. 3 attacks. Mine has very little dodge, because this is the thing, right? He gets that extra 10% damage reduction within the turn if he dodges, but his revival is built up by him being hit. So that's something you have to bear in mind. If you give this guy a bunch of dodge in the hidden potential, then obviously you have the possibility that he's not going to take these hits and then not be able to get his revival. But we did take 4 attacks, so that's good. Bear in mind, his combo with Broly is really good, because Broly in his base form doesn't have any crit chance. And mine has pretty low crit at the moment. I still haven't actually done... I'm recording the showcases for the EZAs before doing the 9th anniversary battle stage, which will probably be a video that also goes up today, which gives you the unique equips for Broly and Beast. I haven't done that yet, so Broly doesn't have those equips. My Broly doesn't have a lot of crit, so in base, his crit chance is quite low. Vegeta only got one super, so he is only giving a 7% crit chance to all allies. He actually did the additional from the passive was only a normal, and then he did the hidden potential additional, but that was only a normal as well. So, obviously, whilst... I mean, he started off with a 12 million attack stat, which is pretty good, considering how strong he'll be defensively. After that greatly raise, he's at around 400 odd K defense with, because he took those 3 hits, 80% damage reduction. So obviously very, very high. If you take the couple of hits or dodges first and then eat a super, bear in mind like 80% damage reduction is a ridiculously high percentage, right? Like if we take 3 million for like a 3 million damage super on average and minus 80%, that's 600k. So if he's got 400k after supering, a type neutral's 3 million damage super attack does like 200k damage to him, which is pretty good. And that's at the level he was at after getting one super. So, I did bring Future Gohan because he supports Bond of Master and Disciple. This is a pretty bad rotation though. Broly did super right at the end, so I'm hoping if I do this, we should be okay. King Vegeta, there's no Vegeta on rotation for him to get the extra stats, but we did get 3 AGL orbs. If we lose a bit of HP, it's not the end of the world, and my King Vegeta is built for full dodge, so post super he should tank normals for double digit damage here. And then ideally he's just not going to get supered. Although Broly is attacking like 6 times. This is the movie event Broly stage, by the way, if you couldn't tell straight off the bat, which is the one that ends with the Broly trio that disables dodge, who have type advantage over Vegeta. So it'll be very interesting to see how he does against them. It's one of the reasons why I chose to do this stage. Plus, you know, the stage is not super easy, but it's not like the hardest of like the new events or anything. So I thought it'd be interesting to see how we get on. So we start the turn now with 524k defense, because bear in mind we are getting 30% attack and defense with each attack performed, and it's not super. So he did 3 attacks in the first turn, so we only need to do 1 more here, and now he's fully built up. Linked up with Vegeta, we have Prodigy's Royal Lineage, Prepared for Battle, and Fear and Faith. Obviously with Broly, we just get Legendary Power instead of Royal Lineage. In fact, the links themselves, Royal Lineage is what, 2 key and 5% attack. Legendary Power is 15% attack. So he'll hit harder, but has more key if he's next to the Tech Vegeta. So we can float off Broly, that's fine. We're not going to worry too much about like his domain or anything, because that doesn't help out Limit Breaker. That doesn't help out Blue Evolution Vegeta at all. So get the super off here, just over 11 mil. Obviously you see the difference, it's slightly lower without having Broly next to him. We get the crit. The passive additional is still only a normal, but then there's the hidden potential, 8.7. And because the crit chance on his super attack effect stacks, it means the additional supers are guaranteed crits. So pretty solid damage, double digits from all the normals, and then this should be double digits as well, because he's got 80% damage reduction, and he did an extra super. So he's got what? He was at start of turn 500k. A greatly raise puts him to like 750. So he's like over 850k defense there with 80% damage reduction, which means there are very little attacks in the game that can actually hurt him at that point with 80%. Because we already did the calcs for 3 mil, because I know there's a few bosses hitting that nowadays. But even if I put in like 4 mil and take off 80%, that's 800k. But he had over 800k defense there, so even a 4 million damage super attack would do double digit damage to him on this turn, like post super. So defensively he's very, very good. We've been hit enough times to have the revival if we need it, and of course we should be able to get the active skill. Now his active skill is a costume change as well, a mechanic that they haven't really used very much since its release. He does the final explosion and then becomes the shirtless version, which is a cool mechanic because it changes the card art, but it changes like the it changes the sprite and the super attack animations to having the different character model, which I mean I can understand that's probably why they don't do it a lot, but there's not many units in the game that utilize that mechanic, unfortunately, where I think it's kind of cool. But make sure Vegeta gets some stacks here. I could put King Vegeta first, but any damage King Vegeta does is just less potential additionals for Tech Vegeta, so Might as well let him go first here. Almost a spot on the dot 10 million attack stat for Tech Vegeta. Like, this team has definitely got to be up there. Like, Superhero probably reigns supreme just because of how good Beast Gohan is. But I feel like the Tech Vegeta team has to be way up there in terms of, like, the best teams in the game. Like, it's got to be, it's at least in that top tier, even if Superheroes with Beast is, like, at the very top. If we're talking about the collection of best teams in the game, I think the Tech Vegeta team is definitely there. And especially now with this Blue Evolution Vegeta buff. Because remember, Tech Vegeta can just very comfortably be a slot 1 unit. But I keep wanting to call him Limit Breaker Vegeta for some reason. But Blue Evolution Vegeta, very good. I mean, Blue Evolution Vegeta is still, of course, a very good unit even in slot 2. Because he's super attacking first. Which means he's getting that defense buff before he then takes any attacks. And still has the 50% damage reduction. So that's always going to be, in slot 2, he's going to be safer. Because even if he takes a super as the first attack of the turn, when he only has 50% damage reduction, he's already supered at that point, so his raw defense is going to be a lot higher. So, and yeah, we have the revival available. It's funny to think that, like, the revival is starting from the turn in which the character receives 5 or more attacks, but there's no HP restriction, which means that we could revive on this turn, which is actually really useful, because if you have any of those situations where a character, like the wrong character on the turn takes a super, like because we started the turn on full HP, both the Vegetas will probably take very little damage, which means by the time future Gohan is getting attacked at the end here, he's not going to have his full damage reduction passive. So if he gets supered at the end in this final attack, there is a possibility that he would die, even from full health. But because of the revival for Vegeta not having an HP restriction, it doesn't matter if that does happen, right? We would just revive. So I'm going to save the active skill. It gets a guaranteed crit, so we'll use it for the final phase, because the final phase is physical, I think. The final phase is the Broly trio, but I actually can't remember if they are still physical in this event. Obviously the card is physical, but I actually can't remember. But I know dodge is disabled, so I thought it'd be a good one for bringing in the Vegeta, because he can't just dodge these attacks, but we'll be able to see how well he tanks. Tech Vegeta, of course, still a very, very good unit. Once he starts getting a bunch of these supers off, his defense gets ridiculously high. And then, yeah, he's looking pretty good. So 22 million for Vegeta here. The attack buff for being at 24 key. Future Gohan has the Bond of Master and Disciple support. So lots of extra damage. We finally get the additional from the passive actually becoming a super. So that's a 13 mil additional, which of course is guaranteed crit. And then can we get the hidden potential as well? We don't. Typical. I gave mine basically full additional. He does have the anniversary skill orbs, of course, from the event last year, where we got the unique equips for every anniversary unit up to and including the 8th anniversary. So he does have those equipped. I think he's got like 20 odd additional and then 12 crit, and I think just the 5 dodge he has as being an int unit. Because that's the thing, I didn't want him to dodge too much and avoid proccing the revival, and then at the same time, you know, he's very tanky as it is anyway, so it's not like he needs dodge. So there's no point using Broly's domain because of the fact that it will just buff the enemy as well, because it's extreme. And we don't buff Blue Evolution Vegeta, who is the whole point of the video is to showcase him, so there's no point really using Broly's domain. He'll be fine in slot 3 after getting a bunch of supers with the guard, because of course if you put Broly in slot 3, he gets an extra additional super, so his post-super defense is going to be very high. King Vegeta supports Pure Saiyans, so Broly's getting support on this rotation as well, which will make up for the lack of links. It's not like he shares a ton of links with King Vegeta, but obviously Broly post-supering is very good, very tanky, does a lot of damage. King Vegeta getting the additional here, 9.4. So Broly, no problem finishing off the phase here. King Vegeta, after a double super, should take double-digit damage from this with a Vegeta on rotation. Right? King Vegeta, my goat. Such a good banner unit. Like the Saiyan Day banner, in terms of the new Vegeta and the King Vegeta banner unit, big success, right? Both units still very, very good. Even in the current meta, King Vegeta out here tanking post-super. You love to see it. Supporting Pure Saiyans means there's a few different builds you can put him on, because he supports Vegeta family, so obviously he's ideal for this team. And then Pure Saiyans, we can run a bunch of Super Saiyans characters on the Tech Vegeta team who are Pure Saiyans like Broly, and then they get this massive buff. So I could, no, he probably still won't die. I was gonna say I could do this and like see if Gogeta could die here, but I don't think he would. So I think I might just do this and get the Vegeta attack off straight away in slot 1 here, because obviously, you know, we're not going to get a chance for any. Whoever attacks first in the turn is just killing him. It's a bit unfortunate Broly didn't finish him off, so he couldn't go into the first turn of the final phase with Vegeta on rotation. But yeah, 19 mil. Considering how strong he is defensively, the fact that he does that kind of damage is very, very good. Plus, look at that KO screen. You love to see that. Alright, so Broly, Chilai, and Lemo, they are physical again, yeah. So this is perfect, because then we got type disadvantage for Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta. I almost said Limit Breaker again. I am a bit worried about Future Gohan, though. There is the possibility that Future Gohan gets supered in slot 3 here now, and because we don't have Vegeta on rotation to get the revival, we would actually die. But I suppose this is one of those things. It's always the catch-22 for these really good units on really powerful teams. Is the Vegeta revival obviously gives him this massive buff, because he gets another 77% attack, and we're already seeing turns where he's hitting like 20 mil on his 18 key. So imagine how much harder he's hitting and how much more defense he has post someone getting a revival. But of course, if you're using a really strong team, there's the possibility that you just don't end up getting the revival at all anyway. So a little bit unfortunate, but I guess it is what it is. For peace of mind, I really need them to super this Vegeta here, because if they super Future Gohan, I'm pretty sure he just dies. Oh god. And that's the thing, dodge is disabled, so I can't even hope for like a clutch dodge. 300k. And then we take, okay, yeah, because then his damage reduction kicks in. Because that's the only good thing about the fact that it activates mid-turn, because otherwise we would be in serious trouble. And of course now, typically, I can't use our active skill because we have to have 50% or more HP. And there's no same type orbs. I guess I could do... No, because then I'd have to put him in slot 3. Oh, that's so annoying. I've got no way to heal on this turn. Oh, wait, of course I do. I guess I'll just do this, just so we can see it. Alright, so... The active skill, mega colossal damage to all enemies. He's at 600k defense here. So let's go ahead and turn the skip off and then do this. We get a guaranteed crit as well as the attack buff. And I like that they did that because of the 6-year LRs on release. Their active skills didn't really hit that hard. So they gave them an attack buff and crit chance when key is 24 or when performing the active skill. Because then it allows the active skill to actually do some damage. Like, it's not crazy or anything. And then, of course, we get the costume change as well. So, we'll do this. They didn't super last turn, which is good, because Gohan, even with that damage reduction active, probably would have been dead. I'd love to see Vegeta eat a super here. But
time to get serious.
In fact, with the guaranteed crit, I think, do we just kill with this? 19 mil on the attack. I mean, this rotation of him and the Tech Vegeta is pretty much invincible, right? If Tech Vegeta is built up enough, he can just sit in slot 1. Then this guy supers in slot 2. Ridiculously strong defensively. There's the final flash. Yeah, 26.5 mil. And then the additional 11.7. Being that it's guaranteed crit, this should finish them off here. Oh, no, not quite. And then we tank everything for double digits. They didn't super in this phase. So, Tech Vegeta should finish them off here. With a normal. Let's go. Well, there you go. That's INT Blue Evolution Vegeta. Very, very strong EZA. Didn't get to see the revival, but we will be using him. This is just the initial showcase. We will be using him in some of these new stages that have come out today with the final phases of the Blue Zone and stuff like that. So we will get to see his EZA at some point at least. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of Blue Evolution Vegeta down below in the comment section. If you tried out both of them, who do you prefer, Goku or Vegeta? Vegeta definitely very, very strong defensively, not relying on like dodge RNG. Of course, as I said, like getting hit with a super as the first attack of the turn would be bad, but I mean, he never took more than double digits in the whole video, did he? So very, very good and very strong. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.